Hi there, friends and family. Hope all of you guys are having a wonderfully blessed Sunday. I'm having a great Sunday, a great day of rest. So I'm here to share some of what's been going on with my walk. And hopefully this video can bless you guys today. Like I've shared before, I've been in a season of weekly fasting, praying, and I'm actually thinking that this isn't just a season. This is what my lifestyle is now. And I'm so thankful that Jesus has called me so close to him. But I had a question. One of my questions about the word going into this season, and something that confused me was in Genesis chapter 6, when it says that God regretted making mankind, and then later in Malachi, when it establishes, and one thing that we know, that God does not make mistakes. And I even think about when it says that he regretted making Saul king, right? So how does that add up? Did I find something that was not congruent with the word? Now the good thing is I was raised, and I'm thankful that I was raised with Christian parents who taught me the word. And so even though I was confused under my understanding, I didn't leave the faith. I just knew that as I got a better understanding, I would be able to explain that. And I thank God that I now have a better understanding. So it turns out that that's one of the things that happens that get lost in translation, because the Bible was originally written, or the Old Testament was originally written in Old Hebrew. And in Old Hebrew, the word that translates into the English word of regret does not exactly mean the 100% same thing as how we use regret. So it doesn't mean like, I'm sorry I did it, but it just means the emotional part of, I'm just sorry. I'm sorry of this outcome. I'm still not regretful and wishing I never did it, but I'm just sorry of where it is in this point. So it actually isn't the sign of an inconsistent God, of a God who changes, because as we know he doesn't change, but it's more so, even more of, it points to his grace, and it points to his emotion, and I'll explain why. It points to why he is so great, right? Because he really does feel, he really does want what's best for us. In the example in Genesis chapter 6, right? If I believe a God that's all knowing and all powerful, that like our God is, if he regretted making mankind, then there would be no ark, right? Because that leads to, of course, as we know, the flood, right? But there was still salvation for mankind. There was still salvation for creation. And that's why he told Noah to build the ark, right? Now, when you talk about Saul, we have to remember that it wasn't God's plan for Israel to have kings. But Israel looked at all the nations around them, the pagan nations around them, and said, hey, we want to be more like them. And they did it, so they stood on that so long that God said, all right, fine, I'll anoint this guy Saul, right? But we have to important to remember that he didn't want them to have kings in the first place. And then once he anointed Saul, heart was full of pride, and he did things against what God told him to do. And ultimately God did feel that same regret, right? So not regret in the sense of, I wish I never did it, but regret in the sense of, I'm sad of how this has turned out. But even then, he redeemed them. How? He then appointed David, a man after his own heart. And we know what happens from there, right? So, and now, all this time later, mankind still has turned our backs on God as a whole, right? But he sent his son down to die for our sins and to be the ark that we need now, as this world eventually will be cast away, right? We'll be able to walk with Jesus, walk with God in the New Jerusalem. And that, my friends, is the gospel. Hopefully, this video blesses you. I'm excited that my understanding has, I guess, grown to another level. And I just pray that all of you guys are able to experience these feelings that I'm feeling right now as I draw closer to God, as I get a better understanding of his word and how everything works. I hope you guys are able to be blessed. If there's anybody watching this video who has not given their life to Christ, I encourage you to. you will feel a completion that you won't feel without him. You'll feel a sense of purpose that you won't feel without him. And you'll feel loved in a way that you just won't feel without him. If anybody's turned away from him, I would firmly recommend that you turn back. And for anybody who just needs to step up and become stronger and get a better understanding, go ahead and do it. It's no better feeling than feeling like you are right with God. You guys be blessed. Hopefully you have a wonderful Sunday. And I'll talk to you guys soon.